Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Rich Eisen Show here on Zoom from my home office as we are all sheltered in place. That's Chris Brockman sitting in his house, adding a nice new
What's
mic.
happening?
That's from your wife, huh? Your wife, Sarah's got that for you, right?
Yeah, she's got a podcast of her own with Rob Riggle, and they gave her some fancy equipment, so I figured I'd borrow it for this occasion.
And as we saw on yesterday's show at the end, Del Tufo's got a fancy large microphone, and you have now a fancy large microphone. That now leaves me without a fancy large microphone. So
You have microphone envy.
I do have Mike envy right now, and Del Tufo envy. I've got it all, Mike and Del Tufo envy. This is really odd and a little bit awkward. I'll have to get a microphone, basically. Certainly, we have not one but just two guests today, and maybe
Okay.
start screwing around to see how this works right here. No, you're big and I'm small. All right, very good. So we got two guests today. The famed gamer Booga will be joining us from the LA Sentinels, as there's a Fortnite competition going on here, and honestly, that's the only
Yeah.
sport that's active is esports because I guess you can do it just like we are doing, which is talking from our homes. And then our first guest up, however, is going to be the man of the moment from the coaching community in the NFL. As today, just about half an hour before we started recording this, Chris, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers held a press
Still doesn't feel right. Still doesn't sound right.
for the arrival of Tom Brady to be the new quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And as expected, much of that conversation was about him departing New England. And
Sure.
as usual, Tom was saying stuff without really revealing very much. He is the king of that, man. 20 years of that. I mean, he knows how to do his job, no matter which organization is paying him. And so we've got Bruce Arians on the show. He's going to call in, and as you know, as I said yesterday, and we had Kurt Warner on yesterday, Chris, it was odd to me. This is the only way to put it, that Arians and Jason Light, the general coach and general manager of the Buccaneers, did not speak to Brady until Wednesday of last week. And all the reporting that we heard on NFL Network the Tuesday before that Wednesday during the conversation period that was legal for people to talk, that Tuesday before the Wednesday, it was as if, when Brady announced that he was leaving New England on his Instagram account, by the end of the day, I was on NFL Network. The Chargers said they were out based on what they thought, and that the Buccaneers were in. And by that night, we heard it was the Buccaneers who were in, and Arians had not yet had a physical conversation with Tom Brady about very much. And I know Brady looked at all the video and all the film and obviously knows Arians. I'll ask Bruce if that's the case and what he thought Brady might have done to kick tires on him prior to that conversation. And obviously, we'll hit him on Jameis and everything else going on in that world. And I know you're just shaking your head, Chris, because it is truly happening. He's no longer your guy.
It's so funny. My mom is at home in Maine, staying in as well. And she's going through some old boxes and bins of stuff that my brother and my sister and I have still at her house. And she sends me a picture this morning, and it's this old Tom Brady jersey that I had got in 2006. And now I've got suddenly nothing to do with it. I have nowhere to put it. I don't even think I want it. I don't even want to look at it. It just makes me sad.
And you know this, that no matter what he does in Tampa, even if he does win a Super Bowl there, or even plural, right? And I'll ask Arians what he thinks about the opportunity to do it this year and what the team needs to do to get there. Because as we all know, the Super Bowl is in Tampa, and no home team or home city has ever had their home team play in the Super Bowl that they're hosting. That no matter what happens, Brady at some point will have a rapprochement with New England, and his name will be in whatever rafters there is there, or whatever ring of honor there is there, and he'll be a Patriot for life. And then on occasion, he might be able to give you a reservation in Ybor City at the drop of a hat, depending on what he does there in Tampa. So we'll hit on that with Arians. And the interesting thing is about Jameis. I'm wondering what he would tell other teams about Jameis if reached out to, because there is a glut of veteran quarterbacks on the market. And as you and I are talking right now, you and your big microphone and me sitting here without one, Cam Newton is going to hit the open market. And I said this a few weeks ago, Chris, 2 weeks ago, I think on our show from our studio, that the Panthers should just release him. They should release him. This business about letting him seek a trade and then having him basically say that that's a dreadful way to term it. He doesn't want to trade, and they're moving on from him. And they clearly are, having signed Teddy Bridgewater, which undercuts all of the Panthers' ability to get something of value back in a trade. Why would you trade for Cam if you know that there's nothing sustainable about him being the backup quarterback there in 2020? Why would you trade for him? So my thought was cut him. Now here we are a couple weeks later, and they should do the right thing. And I think they are going to cut him. Everybody expects him to be a free agent. And brings me back to the point I made 2 weeks ago and I made yesterday when we had a conversation about Todd Gurley getting a 1-year, $6 million deal and Melvin Gordon attempting to get what he could have thought he should get from the Chargers and then turning down something that I'm sure he would accept right now from the Chargers or any team since he's making less with the Broncos. Do not ever tell a player that you should not try and get yours. And if they backfires on them like it did on Melvin Gordon, it's on him. And do not tell a player to not try to get yours. Because after 9 years of 9 seasons of service in Carolina, it's over. Just like that for Cam. And the question, where does he go? You'd take him, right? In New England and heartbeat.
I would take him in a second. Are you telling me Cam Newton, when healthy, is not better than Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer? He gives a chance to keep this Patriots dynasty rolling, gives us a chance to win the division and advance far in the playoffs. Absolutely, I'd take Cam Newton in a second.
The issue is the NFL has, with the Players Association, told all teams that they have to cease all physicals right now because of the coronavirus pandemic, that all physicals need to cease and desist. And because, clearly doctors have got a lot more important things to do right now than ask players to see if they're healthy enough in the NFL. So Cam's going to need to go through a physical and complete it for any team that's going to want to actually bring him on. And then the question is, what team's going to bring him on? I mean, I'll repeat here again. I think that New England is going to sit back and let the market come to them, see who drafts who, and then whoever drafts who is going to go ahead and either release somebody that New England might want, or New England might go ahead and draft somebody themselves, the way that the draft is going to go. And then they don't need another quarterback, and they will go to battle with rookie / Stidham / Hoyer and try and win a division that they've been on top of. Shaking your head on that. But I mean, why would you throw your lot into Cam right now if you're New England or you're the Chargers? I think you have to sit back and wait for the draft and see who's available if you don't like your quarterback situation right after that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think Jacksonville, you mentioned it on the show, I think last week, that would be a great and interesting spot for Cam as well.
That's the only other one, because otherwise you're looking at a backup role. I mean, for Jameis and for Cam, who's going to hire somebody right now as their starting quarterback? I mean, the Bears are all full up, clearly. The Patriots might be a spot, and the Chargers might be a spot, and the Jaguars might be a spot. I mean, the Redskins, are they a spot? I mean, they traded for Kyle Allen yesterday after we went off, and we all know that Ron Rivera knows Kyle Allen very well. So you're going to have Kyle Allen there along with, last year's first-round rookie in Dwayne Haskins. That reeks to me, Chase Young's coming in the number 2 spot. If I'm a fan, I heard that, I'm like, okay, now we're talking about our spot being the spot for Tua, whose workout video with Dilfer's voice in the background went viral yesterday, right? I mean,
sure did. Almost 2 million views already.
We are all jonesing for football and some sort of an answer on the quarterback front. So wherever Tua winds up, or Love winds up, or Herbert winds up, will, I think, affect this quarterback market. And so Cam, as he's cut right now, is going to be a free agent. And I think it's going to be a while until he's picked up. And then we'll see if Jacksonville takes him. I mean, Cam Newton and Gardner Minshew would definitely see around the pool there.
I think so. Do you think, let me ask you real quick before we go, do you think Chicago is regretting right now trading a 4th rounder for Nick Foles?
No, I think they love Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles is the perfect guy to have right there. As Kurt mentioned yesterday, Kurt's been in that position of being a Super Bowl MVP coming to another town. Obviously, Kurt had a Hall of Fame resume already built up in the way that Foles is not. No. I think Foles is the perfect guy right now.
No, I'm just saying in terms of giving up a pick, they could have just waited and got Cam Newton for free.
Unless they just like Foles better, which they might, because Nagy knows him from Kansas City, and they know the system, and he also, is just coming off of a collarbone as opposed to whatever Cam's coming off of, and I pointed to the wrong collarbone. So look, we've got coming on the show. The famed gamer Booga will be on, but I think Bruce Arians is calling it right now.